everyone, welcome back to Shark Nose Transport. I'm Eric and I'm still brand new at this game. I've got a little bit of a Smokey and the Bandit episode for you today. I'm meeting a couple transporters up here in Indiana, and we're going to take 3 trailers out to the same dealership in Washington. I got a text from them before I left home. Apparently they're trapped north of the Mason-Dixon line and they've run out of Diet Sundrop. Nobody knows what it is up here. So they asked if I could grab 6 12-packs of Diet Sundrop in cans. Well, apparently this stuff is liquid gold because I went to several Publix, Kroger's, Walmart's, called a few other stores like Dollar General Markets and anywhere else that said that they had it, and nobody had it in stock in cans. I was able to find a couple 6-packs in bottles. So I was loaded up, heading north of the Mason-Dixon line with my Southern contraband. It's not Coors to bring in east of the Mississippi, but it feels almost like it. So I'm going to meet them up here in a little bit. We're going to get loaded and go to Washington. Got a 32-foot reflection fifth wheel, and I think I've pulled this model before. So we're on our way to the yard now to get loaded, and we'll see how it goes. So we are here at the Middlebury yard. I've already checked in, and it says we're on row 8. That's usually your starting point, and then a lot of times you have to make circles going out from there to try to find it, but maybe we'll get lucky today. So, a lot of campers around, and we are looking for a reflection fifth wheel. And let's see if we can get lucky and it'd be right here. You have to go by the serial numbers on them, which is usually the last few numbers of the VIN that they write, hopefully on the front and hopefully correctly. So let's see what we find. And hopefully we're not behind that one camper that's blocking. But you can see we've got plenty of inventory here, so hopefully we'll stay busy for a little while. Yes, that one is close. Maybe they wrote the number wrong if we don't find it somewhere else. Always amazes me how many campers are stuffed in here. Sometimes it seems like the pulling drivers have competitions to see how close they can get to the trailer next to them and collect a pot at the end of the day or something. But all in all, they do a really good job. They've always been really, really helpful. If you have any questions, you can stop them, ask them something. They'll take time out of their day to help you out. And they move a lot of campers, which in turn keeps us moving. So, well, I didn't see it on this first pass. But I'm going to turn you guys off because all I'm going to be doing is making some circles and actually just probably walk up and down some of the rows to try to find it, because it could have been blocking over there and then somebody moved it over to a place like this. So we're going to see what we can find. I did see one that was the same model number. I just had a digit off in the serial number. So I'll go compare it with the VIN on the side of the trailer and see if maybe they just wrote it down wrong. But I'll let you know when we find it. All right, we have found it. It was actually on row 8, which is very nice. I happened to be looking right when it was on the left side, so I missed it on the first pass. But it's not raining, it's not snowing, so I don't mind getting out and walking around and double checking everything. So got some room, which will be nice to get in there, check the tires, lug nuts, all that. Should be a fairly straightforward pull out on it. But before I do anything, I'm going to go around and start looking for anything that they could say might be driver damage, or just anything in general, because some of the dealerships will try to ding you because there's bad caulking, and I don't know what that has to do with drivers, but it's what happens. So just double check anything that looks iffy, especially on these front corners. Let's see what we got here. And a lot of them use these metal skirtings, and those guys will get a scratch on them if you look at them sternly. So it's not uncommon to have some scratches on those when you pick them up. Check the door frames and the awnings. They've been known to get bumped on things when they're getting brought over here to the yard. But so far, looks pretty decent. But we'll come through, we'll double check the tire pressure. It's listed over on the sticker on the side. We'll check there, make sure they're the right pressure. Torque the lug nuts, make sure those are done to spec. And it's a Grand Design, so they've got a sheet for us to sign saying that we checked them. And then once I get to where I'm going to go wait for the other folks, I'll double check them again. Make sure everything stays nice and tight. Doesn't give you any problems. But anything that looks like a scratch, kind of give it a rub and see if it comes off. It's much easier to deal with it on this end than it is on the other. Like, I don't know if it'll come out, but there's a little scuff up there at the ladder. Don't know if that's just dirty silicone or anything, but I'll take a picture of it, send it in to claims, make sure they approve me to go with it, and then it's documented that it was there and that I didn't do it. So I said these skirts are notorious for showing anything. And kind of double check the windows. But see, and there's just more. If you look at it from one angle, it looks like a scratch, and then you go and you rub it and it's just caulk that when they wiped it kind of ran down from where they were working and they spread it out a little bit. So far looks good. I'll go around and give it another real close look, and then we'll start the hookup procedure. See about getting this thing out of here, and then once we get going, start making some money. We'll be back. This is where those of us that are vertically challenged have a little harder time here. But we'll make all the connections, check the lights, give the brake test, and about ready to pull out. The marker lights are working on the sides. Check the hazards. That'll let us know that the brake signals, brake lights and turn signals are working. Everybody's flashing. Marker lights up top are on. Everything looks pretty good. Check the emergency brake on the trailer and head on out. So here's our current state of affairs. We were able to drive for about an hour and a half when Sea Farmer's truck started throwing some codes and losing power. So luckily we were right by an exit, pulled into a Bass Pro Shop parking lot and hooked the Altel up to it, and it said it's the number 7 injector. As luck would have it, we were 4 miles from a Chevy dealer and they had the part in stock. So if you watch Mr. Tennessee's video, you'll actually see Sea Farmer get into a Ram and drive it to a Chevy dealership to get a part for his truck. So working on getting that fixed now, and then we'll hit back on the road. But this is why it's nice traveling with other folks. We've got items from all 3 toolboxes out, working on getting this fixed, and I like traveling with people who know a heck of a lot more about cars than I do, because they're doing a fantastic job. All right, it really hasn't been that long, hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, but he placed his injector up in there. He started it up, it sounds good, and he's just running the scanner now to see if he has to reprogram it and get everything going again. But check engine light went off, which is always a good sign. And hopefully we'll be out of here on the way again. Another good reason for teamwork. Well, as you can see by the scenery, we're definitely not in Indiana anymore. That last little bit I said about the truck was fixed, ready to go hit the road again, not entirely true. We made it about 1,000 feet before it started acting up again on them, and pulled into a next truck stop we could get to, and it turned out it was the injector connector, not the injector. But he had a spare one of those, got it swapped out, started out again. So we've been shut down for wind a little bit, and Wyoming's a little crazy. Strong crosswinds in Utah until we made that turn going northwest, and it actually turned into a tailwind. Got double-digit mileage towing. That was nice. So we did a reset in Jerome, Idaho, because we didn't make it here in time to make the drop-off on Friday, so can't do it until tomorrow morning on Monday. So while we were there, met up with another transporter and went to the ice cave in Shoshone, which is pretty neat. 28 degrees year-round. They used to harvest ice out of it to sell. So, and then Saturday we went to a park and we flew some drones around. I'll put some of that footage up. We rented kayaks, played on the water for a couple hours, watched people base jump off a bridge over the water with their parachutes. If you're going to do a reset, that's not a bad way to do it. So I'll throw some of that video up. I'm also going to do another real quick one, which I already shot, but the audio didn't record, so I got to voice over it, about post-trip inspections and why they're important. I had parts falling out of my fifth wheel hitch when we got to Jerome that weren't falling out when I started that morning. So I'll show you those. But we're cruising through the mountains here. Diesel's getting real expensive out this way. But it's pretty country. So we're just gonna kick back here in the seat, enjoy it, and think about whether or not I'm gonna have time to go back to Indiana and grab one to go home, or just go straight home from here. So we'll see how it goes. Back at you later.
You ready?
I guess.
Okay, bring it out. Hold on above your head.
Don't make me tip. Woo! Thank you.
Hey! Let's stop talking about me.
No,
some transporters complain about having to do a 72-hour reset. We decided to make the most of it. We've watched people jump off that bridge with parachutes. We flew some drones around, making the most of our weekend before we drop off on Monday. You gotta have fun when you're doing it, otherwise it's just a job.
Slide right in, eh? Uh-huh.